Akron, Ohio is recognizing a citywide day of mourning in honor of the funeral for Jayland Walker. Walker was shot and killed by police after speeding off from a traffic stop. Police say he fired a shot from the car as they pursued him and then left the car and tried to run. Body camera video shows multiple officers firing at him when they say Walker appeared to turn toward them. The preliminary medical report showed more than 60 wounds on his body. And police say they found a gun in the car, but that Walker, when he was shot, was unarmed. His death prompted weeks of protests across the city. Officials are now calling for peaceful protests and healing throughout the community. Officers involved in that shooting are on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. And I want to bring in ABC's Mola Lenghi for more on this. Mola, what can we expect from this day of mourning in Akron? What are they hoping will come of this?
Well, I think first and foremost, they're hoping for peace. They're hoping for calm. They're hoping for a bit of quiet and some reflection with regards to Jayland Walker's life. As you mentioned, a citywide mourning has been put in place. The city council voted that in earlier this week in the hopes of, again, having the community reflect especially after weeks and weeks of protests here. The funeral happening about a block away behind me there in the Civic Theater, open to the public, not open to media cameras. The family trying to keep some semblance of privacy, but they have opened up the funeral to the public, and the city obviously also involved in some of the logistics and the planning. So a relatively big turnout is expected, and it's pretty fitting considering the shooting has been a very public spectacle. The aftermath of this incident has been a very public spectacle, making national headlines. And so the family feeling the need to open up the doors to the public and welcome them in. Again, after weeks and weeks of protests and demonstrations in these city streets, demonstrations that will likely continue over the next few days and few weeks.
Now, the family has called a lot into question about claims from police. They say Jayland was a peaceful person, had no criminal record. They find it hard to believe that he owned a gun. So what's the latest on that, and what's the key message the family's trying to get out on this day that's dedicated to mourning his death and celebrating his life?
Yeah, still a lot of questions from the family, from members of the community. They have been pushing the messaging of who Jayland was, what kind of personality he was, what kind of background he was, what kind of guy he was. And we're hearing a lot of those same things that you just mentioned, that he was a nonviolent person, that he was a peaceful person, that nobody would have expected these sort of things from him, that he didn't have a criminal record, that this was completely out of character. Out of character is a phrase that we've heard the family often say here over the last few weeks. But at this point, it's just a lot of questions. Why this happened, how it happened, and more than anything else, the family is asking why police felt the need to fire as many shots as they did when shooting at Jayland Walker.
So, Mola, what's next for this investigation and for those officers now on leave?
Yeah, those 8 officers are still on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation into the incident. That investigation being handled out of agency by a separate agency, an independent agency. That's the Ohio Bureau of Investigation under the supervision of the Attorney General. And so that is going to be a very thorough, meticulous investigation, asking every single officer exactly what happened, how they saw and how they perceived Jayland Walker to be a threat. Police chief saying about a week ago that each officer has to account for every single bullet that he fired in that shooting a few weeks ago. So we are expecting that investigation hopefully sometime over the next few days or few weeks to try to shed some light exactly on what happened and if these officers will be held to account in any way.
All right, Mola Lenghi in Akron, Ohio for us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.